Hey y'all. So I want to do a little story time with y'all. I was looking at my babies, right? And I wanted to talk about how I found out I was pregnant and what we were going through at that time. Real quick, y'all. I had to because you know how you go through moments of looking at your babies and reminiscing and stuff. So, me and my hubby, this is before we got married. I was going through my situation 2 years prior. I had cancer and I've been in remission. So the doctor asked us that we want to freeze our eggs because chemo can affect the eggs, y'all. And sometimes it can affect you getting pregnant and fertility and everything. So that was something that was always scary for me. And just finishing up chemo, they say it's best to wait to get pregnant like a year or two later because you don't want that to affect anything with, the babies or childbirth or, the eggs that's in your uterus. But I was nervous. I was going through a lot emotionally at that time because I was healing, going through my mental stuff, thinking like, am I going to have kids? Like we talked about that. And I was nervous, we was just like, is it possible? So 2 years after getting in remission, me and my husband been talking about kids and marriage and all of that stuff. And we was like, you know what? Maybe we can see, because at this time I'm 30. So we was like, maybe we can go to the doctor, see if we can see about getting a test done and make sure that my eggs are good and making sure that he's good. Just making sure everything's good, okay? And mind you, we wasn't trying. Me and my husband, I'm not going to say we were the safest during being intimate, but we had our little technique that we would do. It was only a few times that we didn't do that technique, and that was around about the time that I got pregnant. So it's so crazy. But we didn't plan it, but it was something that we was thinking about starting to do. So before we wanted to start to do that, I was like, maybe we should go to the doctor and make sure everything's good first, So the doctor said, yeah, it's that time. You're 30 years old, even though it's still young. Because of what happened and because of cancer, you want to make sure your eggs are good and you have enough eggs and make sure he's good as well. Get tests done for him. Just making sure we're good on both sides. I will say that week that I was supposed to go see the doctor, y'all, I never forget. I went on live. Okay. I went on live stream. We went away, to PA with family and, it's so funny. People was like, yeah, you guys gonna get pregnant. That night was so funny. We was on live and people were just randomly saying it in the comment section. The people that still watch this channel, I don't know if you are one of those people, but comment down below if you was one of those people that said it. Because I remember some of the aunties, my little YouTube aunties that's on here, that love my babies, they were saying that in the comments. And we was on live. And that day, I was feeling really, really hungry. I was eating a lot. That was right after Thanksgiving. Eating like crazy. I felt really bloated. I'm like extra tired. And I was on go-karts and everything, y'all. I was like having the time of my life, but feeling like crap. So I would say like for those few days, I started feeling more tired and sleepy. And I was like, what's going on with me? Why am I feeling tired and sleepy like this? Like I didn't feel like myself. So my husband, he was like, you know what, maybe you should go just get a test, And I was like, yeah, maybe I should. But I never told him I got the test. I told him I was thinking about getting it, but I didn't think nothing of it. But I ended up getting the test. And I was talking to my mom during those times, too, about like pregnancy and how she felt when she knew she was pregnant. Because I had a feeling in my heart that I might have been, but I didn't know for sure. So the day of when I went to take the test, my mom called me that morning and was like, I dreamed the fish last night. And she said in the dream, the fish was cut in half inside a liquid. I just thought it was a weird dream, but I don't know if you guys grew up thinking that fish means you're pregnant, because my mother had us growing up thinking that every time she had a dream about fish, one of her children was pregnant. So I wasn't thinking it was me. I'm thinking, oh, it could be my older sister or my brother at the time who was alive at that time. He was in a relationship and she wanted to have a baby. So we didn't know if it was her either. So I'm like, what if it's one of them? We don't know for sure if anybody's pregnant. It's just a dream. But most of the time that symbolized that. So my brother that same morning, played a trick on us and said that his girlfriend at the time was pregnant. We going crazy screaming. I'm like, oh my God, so he's the one. So it's not me, you know? Like, it's him and his girl that's about to have a baby. But he played a prank on me. It was a joke, y'all. We was excited, screaming and everything. So I said, you know what? My mother had that dream. I'm just going to eliminate it because it was on my mind and I wasn't feeling good. So I ended up taking a test. My husband had no idea. And at the time, me and my husband was mad at each other that day. We had a little baby arguing about something. And I took the test. Automatically, the plus sign come up. My heart started sinking. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this real? Oh, my God. Is this real? So I'm shaking because I'm scared and nervous. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I pregnant for real? So then I come downstairs and I'm like, babe, I got something to show you. He's mad at me at the time, so he's not paying me no mind. And I'm like, babe, guess what? I'm pregnant. He didn't believe it. He's like, no, you're lying. I showed him the stick, and he was like, so happy, in shock. Like, we both was like, wow. We couldn't believe it. So I said, you know what, let's go to the doctor. Let's make sure. We ended up going to the hospital because my doctor was closed at the time. So I said, let's go now. We want to make sure. We go there. I take a pregnancy test, positive. And I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm excited as hell. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I can get pregnant because I didn't know for sure. So that was something I was excited about. And I'm like, oh my God, I might be a girl mom because at the time I was like, wanting a daughter. And my hubby, he didn't care if it was a boy or girl, but he always did want a boy. So I used to tell myself, if I got pregnant with a girl, that was it. But then I was like, if my husband wanted a son, I was willing to do it again. But I was like, oh, I just wanted one child, you know, because I was nervous about pregnancy and having a baby in my belly. I used to be creeped out. I was a weirdo. But as soon as they came back, they said, you know what, we're going to go and give you an ultrasound. And they gave me an ultrasound, but I didn't look at the monitor at all. I was just in the zone. I'm just like, my husband, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was looking at the monitor or not, but we were just excited. So they had us back in the room, and we're waiting. And we were starting to get frustrated because I'm like, what is taking them so long? Like, what's going on? We was waiting in there for a while. So I'm like, okay, I'm tired now. Now I'm getting frustrated. I'm excited, but I'm a little frustrated. And he was too. Why the nurse and the doctor come back in there? So calm, cool, collected, and was like, yeah, you're pregnant with twins. I just couldn't hear nothing outside of that. My husband excited. What? Oh, and I'm like turning pale. Y'all, when I tell you, I was not expecting twins at all. Now, mind you, my husband used to joke around all the time, but I never thought that would ever happen for some reason. So I'm in shock, and I'm just like turning pale, y'all. I was like, because I didn't think I would have twins because I don't have a lot of friends that have twins. I don't know a lot of twins besides my great-grandmother had a whole bunch of kids, okay? And that's like my great aunts and stuff, but I wasn't expecting it. So I was like, so scared, nervous, because I'm like, this is my first pregnancy and I'm having twins. I'm like, how am I going to carry these babies in my belly, two of them? And I was already creeped out about the idea of a baby being in your belly. I was weird with that, y'all. But now, after being pregnant, I love the pushing and kicking. But I used to be creeped out by that. So I was in my mind. My mind was everywhere. And my husband was like, babe, this is exciting. And I'm just like, twins? Like, that's all that was in my head, y'all. But an hour later, I was good. And I was excited and I got back to being happy. But when I tell you, when I found out I was having twins, I was like, I didn't know if I can do it, you know? And I was scared because I know that twins are high risk. And I didn't know if they was going to be identical or fraternal at the time. So I was like, I know that with identical, it could be a lot more stressful with the pregnancy than it is with, fraternal twins. So I was so nervous, y'all. But, y'all, Yeah, I had twins.
So cool.
So, yeah. And it's crazy because my husband used to always say to me, I'm going to put twins in you. So let me tell y'all, the power of the tongue is real. Speak great things, okay? Because that shit is real. And I know we have moments when we upset and we say things, and I get it. But let's just say, always speak positivity into your life. Because when I tell you he manifested me having twins, it's crazy. But I'm beyond thankful. I'm overjoyed. And my babies are the biggest blessing I can ask for. And I can't see myself not being a twin mom now after having twins. So it's just crazy. I don't think I can do it again. Our whole pregnancy, that was a lot. You guys, comment down below if you want to see that. Subscribe to the channel and push all so you won't miss notifications because your girl got story times for y'all. But yeah, that's my story time. That's how I found out we were pregnant with twins. And our lives changed ever since then. And even through the hard times to this day, I am beyond thankful that God has made me a mom. And that I'm blessed to be a mom of twins. And to experience having a boy and a girl. They're two different type of people at the same time. It's so cool. The way they love on me is cool and different, but beautiful. And I'm happy. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired. And I have my moments of dealing with my own emotions and getting back to me. So you see, I did my hair. I'm trying to look decent again. But it took a while. I went through a lot. I'm going to talk about my postpartum. I'm going to talk about a lot, y'all. So stay tuned. And if you can relate as a mom, we here. We here. But yeah, that's all for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed my story time. I have more coming. And, I hope that you guys can relate and we can, become fams and friends. And yeah. But comment down below your story about when you found that you was pregnant. I would love to hear you. I would love to hear y'all. I will be talking to you guys through the comment section. Let's get to know each other a little bit more. All right, guys, that's it. I'll be back with more videos. Stay tuned. I hope you have a blessed day.